Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome to the newly remodeled Brass Lantern. For over 30 years, we've been serving delicious food to excellent people. Brass Lantern takes pride in authenticity, serving fresh, homemade food to please any member of the family. From mouth-watering to one-of-a-kind steaks served with gourmet marinade, to salad with our signature honey mustard dressing, specialty fruit tea, drafts, and much more. Our food is always prepared daily. Whether you come in with friends or family, you'll appreciate that fresh is better.
A&M Medical is Lawrence County's newest medical clinic, specializing in urgent and primary care. Practitioners Andrea Bain and Meredith Hutton bring years of experience and compassion to keep you and your family healthy. A&M Medical features a separate well waiting room to meet your needs. Visit today and ask about A&M's weight loss program and telemedicine services. That's A&M Medical, located at 2367 Highway 43 South in Leoma, Tennessee.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to the Week 10 edition of the Friday Night Lights, getting you ready for all the high school football action going down in southern middle Tennessee and in northern Alabama. AJ Good here with Michael Marks. And Mike, it just felt like basketball, volleyball season started yesterday. Volleyball ended already this week, and we're to the next to last week of the football season here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were talking about week one in Jamborees just yesterday, and like you said, it's just snuck up out of nowhere, and we're already, getting to one of the last weeks of October, last couple weeks of the regular season, and it's kind of sad to see it go.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a big one over across the way, Hendricks Tech Stadium tonight. Two teams already in the playoffs, Lincoln County and Lawrence County. So right now, here's what's at stake. It's either you're going to be the 4th seed, the 3 seed, or the 2 seed right now at this point. Both of them already lost to Columbia. So the 2 seed is certainly up for grabs for both of these teams. But you get a win tonight, you certainly control your destiny and get a much better opponent, whether you're the 2 seed or the 3 seed.
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic opportunity for Lawrence County. Obviously, Lincoln County suffered that loss in overtime at Columbia last week. So now you got three teams really sitting in there, that 2, 3, 4 slot that all have one win. Lawrence County with 2 losses right now, but again, you get that win against Lincoln County. I mean, and you have Columbia maybe slip up and beat Tullahoma. That's a home playoff spot for Lawrence County, looking them in the face.
Absolutely, and they don't do head-to-head on tiebreakers. They do your out-of-region record, which right now the Wildcats are the only ones undefeated outside of the region. So, and I bet if they got Columbia and Tullahoma later in the year instead of when they got them,
it may have changed.
One of the two might have been a different story. Maybe both of them, who knows. But this is going to be, it's a contrast to styles. You've got Lincoln County, always got a big 225 bruiser and a running back, and they've got a couple. They're going to try to out-physical you. Lawrence County can certainly play the physical game, but they also want to get those big playmakers out in space and do some big things, just like they did last week at Franklin County.
Yeah, typically when you have a big bruising team, they're not going to be as sound on the edges with speed, and I think that's one thing that Lawrence County should be able to hurt them with. And you just look at who they played last week. Lawrence County got a relatively easy win with Franklin County. Didn't have to show a whole lot.
It was easy.
Yeah. And they didn't have to. They didn't have to do anything crazy to win that one.
Yeah.
Lincoln County left it all on the line and came up short. Yeah. I think that's going to be huge mentality-wise heading into this one for Lawrence County.
Absolutely. Let's hear what the Wildcats have to say. Starting first with head coach Garrick Barnett, followed by quarterback Logan Clayton.
Garrick, good win for you guys. Very impressive, and just kind of came out swinging from the start there.
Yeah, it was. On paper, it looked like we should have done what we did, and a lot of times you get some lag, you get some early not wanting to get there. But I'm so tickled with our guys, so tickled with the effort from the start to the finish. Our young guys come in the second half and did some good things. Old guys did exactly what we wanted to do. We were flying around. Defense, I think they were at negative 34 yards in the first half, something like that, based off what the stats that you had, I think. And that's an indication of a really good team. When you can do that against the team you're supposed to do that against, that's a good sign going into week 9 and week 10, last couple of games of the season. So it was great. It was a great catapult into what we want to try to do this week. So awesome to see.
Obviously, you got that playoff, kind of in there. I know it's not always guaranteed at this point, but you've got that settled right now, and that's, I know, one of the many goals that you guys had set for this year.
Sure, I think that's one of them. Early on, you want to get some rivalry wins, you want to get some non-conference out of region wins. We've been able to do that. When we've struggled a little bit more in region, so it was good to get that first notch. With another good opportunity this week, we feel like, Lincoln County's, they're a really good team. They're a really good football team. We think we are too, and so we look forward to it. Look forward to Lincoln County coming here this week.
Tell us about Lincoln County and what to expect out of them here on Friday.
They're going to try to control the line of scrimmage. They're on paper they're a lot bigger than us. I think we see some things, some holes that we like, and we're going to try to expose those. If we're able to do that and execute, we'll be a lot happier next week than we were this week. And so, with a chance to host with a little help from Columbia. So there's a lot at stake. But, it's like I told the guys yesterday when we come in, and, our coaches have told me, control the one play at a time. Control what you can control. Control the kickoff. Let's win that. Kickoff return, whatever we got first. And then defense, we're on defense. And then offense, we're on offense. And just work our way through it. If you look at it from a big score perspective, you're always going to be unsuccessful. So for our guys, it's just looking at one play at a time. And so that's what we got to do.
What's it going to take to get a win here on Friday?
I think one play at a time. They're gonna try to eliminate big plays. We're probably gonna have to ding, and take what they give us and have those 8, 10, 12 play drives. Special teams is gonna be so huge. We've got some wrinkles in on special teams. We hope. We've been close to getting the ball here, getting the ball there. I think we need to turn over there on kickoff. I think this week, or whether it's an onside or whether it's getting down and getting down fast and getting coverage and causing one. Either way, those are, we got to win the turnovers and we've got to win the current play and not dwell, because they're going to make plays. Lincoln County's a good football team. They're going to make some good plays. It's just going to happen. That's the nature of the beast. I think it's more important to see what we do after they make a play and how we respond to that. So.
Logan, good win for you guys the other night. What was it like to go out there and just kind of dominate from start to finish?
Yeah, it was great. It was great for our team, and going into the next week trying to hosting a playoff game.
Yeah. Clinching that playoff berth. I know that's like one of the many goals that you guys had, but what's that feel like for this team to do that for the first time in 10 years?
Yeah, it's great. It hasn't happened in 10 years, and we've been striving since the beginning of summer just to come out here and win that Franklin game and hopefully the next game.
Yeah. You guys got the bye week at a really good time. What's the team been like? What was the team like going in, and what's the team been like after that bye week?
We were very focused in the bye week, focusing on hitting open guys, not overthrowing people, and getting the go routes down. And we really brought together the run game, and it all just went together great.
Lincoln County's going to be a tough opponent here. What have you guys seen out of them so far?
They've really dominated against a lot of people, but we've seen that Columbia beat them, and Columbia's big on the run, so I think we're going to focus on the run and hitting open guys over the middle.
Finally, what's it going to take to get a win here on Friday night?
It's going to take a lot out of us. We're going to have to give it our all. Okay. And, it's going to take us all to win.
All right, Mike, what are the keys to the game here for the Wildcats tonight?
Yeah, I think you got to get it to your playmakers out in space. Everly, is one to name. Just get it to your guys outside in space, and the defense, front seven's going to be huge tonight, stopping the run. I think if they can do that, it should be a big win for Lawrence County and a chance to host a playoff game coming up.
And for me, I think if I was talking about somebody about this today, withstand the early charge, because Lincoln County is going to try to play bully ball.
Yep.
And a lot of teams have tried to do this. Dixon County tried it. Giles County tried it. Tullahoma had a lot of success early, but in the second half, they really shut down that run game. If the Wildcats can have a lead or keep it close and shut down that run game,
yeah, they should be in pretty good
they're
control.
winning some games here that have been very impressive. We'll see what happens. Well, coming up next, we verge on over into Class 2A. We'll check in with Summertown, Loretto, and Mount Pleasant.
Here at Fields and Brown Barbershop, legacy means a lot. We're trying to fill big shoes left by my 2 uncles and my grandfather, where every haircut came with conversation and every customer left a little taller than when they walked in. The barbershop is about pride. It's about knowing your barber knows your name and your story. Come see us at Fields and Brown Barbershop, where tradition never goes out of style. 3 generations, 1 legacy, your barbershop.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Week 10 edition of the Friday Night Lights as we get you ready for everything going down in high school football in Southern Middle Tennessee and in Northern Alabama. We head on over to Class 2A, Mike. We talked about the playoffs with Florence County. They're already in. This is kind of a playoff game for them tonight, Lincoln County, but this is really a playoff game between Summertown and Decatur Riverside over at the new home of the Eagles.
Yeah, it is going to be a big one. Riverside had a rough start to the year, but right now they're 2-2 in region. So is Summertown. So like you said, AJ, this is an impromptu playoff game. Yeah. Summertown wins it, they're in. If they lose, it's going to be a tough game the next week at Adamsville.
Yeah, and we've Adamsville's pretty calmly in that number 3 spot right now. The battle for number 1's tonight. We'll get to that later here in a few minutes between Lewis County and Mount Pleasant. So this really is the battle for number 4. And as like Clint Brazier said it last night, you have to go number 4 and you got to go to East Nashville. But hey, you still get in.
Yeah, that's a playoff spot.
That's a playoff spot. There's a lot of teams that wish they could be in your position right now.
And Summertown might be able to get lucky enough and try to find that number 3 spot. It still would have you traveling, but right now Adamsville, Riverside, and Summertown all at 2-2 in the region.
Yeah, it's a big one here tonight. Let's see what head coach Dan Winfrey had to say going into week number 10.
Coach, I know Friday didn't end up the way you guys wanted it. What kind of positives you take from that game?
Well, we did a lot of good things. I give Richland credit. It's a good football team. And we were backed up all night. We started every drive on the 20 or inside the 20 except for one out of, I think it was 9 drives. But we did some good things. We had a 91-yard touchdown drive, 15 plays I think it was. We had some good drives throughout the game and just didn't finish. 3 turnovers. We actually led them, the stats they showed me after the game was we led them in total yards, in first downs, maybe time of possession, but we also led in turnovers. We had 3 turnovers. You can't do that when a football game against a good team.
You mentioned it last week when we talked. Turnovers have been an issue, and again they reared its ugly head once more.
Yeah, and you know when you've got the ball, what you think you got a good drive going, and it just steals you momentum, and then you got to turn around and play defense, and I don't know. It's a big deal in any game. I mean, look at NFL, college, high school for sure, but any game, turnovers are a big deal. Momentum killer.
You got another big region game coming up here once again on Friday night.
We do. It's really a playoff game. I think the way the thing's set up. There's 2 teams in, there's 2 teams out, and there's 3 of us fighting for 2 spots. So. Playoff game, last home game, should be a lot of excitement. I think this is when you're playing, late in the season, you want the games to mean something. It certainly means something.
Decatur Riverside, I mean, just never easy. Despite the record, they're going to be a formidable opponent no matter.
No
when
question.
you play.
They've got good tradition. They've had good football teams in the past. Been watching a lot of film on them this year, and they've struggled. Regardless, they've gotten better. They've won 2 out of the last 3, and they feel like, I'm sure they got it going in the right direction. So yeah, it's going to be a test, no doubt.
What's it going to take to get a win here on Friday night?
Well, we keep saying it's the same things. Control the ball, limit the turnovers, hopefully to 0, create some turnovers, and play good defense. If we can, that recipe's been pretty good. So we just need to keep doing that.
All right, Mike, keys to victory for the Eagles tonight and a big one.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be controlling the tempo, and that's what they've been really good at all year. Riverside has been one of those teams that likes to play a spread offense, so they're going to try to throw the ball a lot. And Summertown secondary, it really impressed me a couple weeks ago against Loretto. I think they'll do just as well tonight against Riverside, and hopefully secure them a playoff spot.
Staying within the region, it's a big one tonight over at Mount Pleasant.
Yes.
Lewis County and Mount Pleasant, the battle for the top spot. They pretty much secured 1 and 2, so they're going to get a home game, but you get a better home game if you win this game tonight. And obviously bragging rights are not far away from each other. They're not really rivals, but they've been in the same region, they've been in the same district in other sports, so this is a big one between the two tonight.
I would say I was up there at Mount Pleasant yesterday. Got to talk to Coach Hartselle and some of his players. They're amped up, and it's not hard to tell why. Obviously, you said it. It's 1 versus 2 in the region. This is for probably the number 1 spot, the region champs, and this would be hosting maybe 2 weeks in the playoffs. That could be really big.
Could be more.
Yeah, could be more depending on how things line up. But yeah, this game is for a lot right here.
And you got one team. Lewis County can still throw it around some, but they're more of a power football team this year. Mount Pleasant can do it all. They've relied on a really good defense, and they have got skill players out the wazoo that are really good, really tough, really fast. I mean, they've got the full package over there.
Yeah, and where the in-county teams, Loretto and Summertown, struggled with Lewis County, it was speed, and I think that's something on the outside that Mount Pleasant excels in. So it's going to come down to Lewis County and how well they can run the ball inside.
All right, Mike, you spoke with head coach Kid Hartselle and Carson Howe yesterday with the Tigers. Let's hear what they have to say about clinching a region title tonight.
All right, Coach, you got a big win last week against East Hickman, a team that got you the year before. How do you build onto that into this week?
Yeah, it was a tough game. It always is. We play them every year, and it's always a slugfest. So we was happy to come out on top in a non-region game, our last home game on senior night. Now we're moving on to this week to the biggest game of the year, region game, obviously with a lot on the line, and a good opponent, at Lewis County. So we're just preparing for that.
Now, how do you prepare for a team like Lewis County? They're very physical. We're going to be run heavy. Compare that to your play style.
Yeah, they're always a tough team. Coach Azar does a great job, getting his guys ready. It's always a great atmosphere over there at Lewis County. Their kids play hard. They play tough, and they get after it. Schematically, they're probably a lot like us. They keep it balanced and spread the ball around to a lot of good players. But at the end of the day, they got a stud tailback they give the ball to, and Drew Ray, and he's a great linebacker, and Cade Curl, and they got a lot of guys stepping up. So they present a big challenge and a lot of guys to defend.
How do you get your guys ready but not too ready for this game? Because obviously number 1 versus number 2 in the region, it's going to have a lot of emotion. How do you get them ready without too ready, so to speak?
Yeah, it's there's a fine line there. You definitely would rather be a little more ready than not. Bringing that energy and juice. But I think after the first few plays, it kind of settles down, and people just have to line up and do their job. And focus on what they're supposed to do and their preparation that got them to that point. So it's important. But once the ball is kicked, all that matters is what's going on between the lines, and that's it.
All right, Coach, what do you think it's going to take to get a win Friday night?
Man, it's a huge game. Turnovers are always just a quick backbreaker for anybody. So you got to protect the ball and try to take it away. The line of scrimmage will be interesting. I think both sides are pretty balanced on offense, but you still have to win the line of scrimmage and protect the quarterback, for both teams. So, both defenses are scrappy. So, it's very similar teams. We almost look like the same team to me.
on both sides of the ball. So, you know, it's going to be a tough challenge.
All right, both teams 1 loss on the season right now, both outside of district, though. How important does that make this game on Friday?
This game is the biggest game we will have all this season. This decides the region. This decides who gets to host 2 games at least in the playoffs and who only gets to host 1, and this just decides the fate for the playoffs for both teams.
How do you try to get yourself ready for this game, but not too overamped where you're going out there and running all your energy in the first quarter?
You're just trying to make sure, or I know we are just trying to make sure that we're mentally prepared and just make sure we have all the techniques and just make sure we have everything correct.
All right, what do you think it's going to take to get a win on Friday night?
It's going to take a lot of grit and toughness, and we're just going to have to play our best and mistake-free football.
All right.
All right, Mike, keys to the game here for Mount Pleasant, Lewis County tonight.
Yeah, I think for Mount Pleasant, you know, talking to them yesterday, I think it's about, you know, playing with some emotion, but not playing with too much where you're gassed at the end of the first quarter. Yeah. I think it's going to be weathering that storm early and then just try to stop the run. Lewis County is a dominant run team. Mount Pleasant, you know, a tad of a different play style. You know, they like to get up and down the field a lot quicker. I think this favors Mount Pleasant.
I'm really excited about this game tonight. This is I might be having my fun up in that game tonight. Well, let's go staying in the same region, but they're stepping out of region. Mm-hmm. Loretto hitting the road to take on Bolivar Central, Class 3A team, but this isn't a insurmountable task or a giant mountain to climb here tonight, Mike.
Yeah, no, this is a team that's in Bolivar that's lost 4 straight. Loretto's lost 3 straight. So somebody's going to get back on track tonight. And you kind of feel for the Mustangs. Their last 3 road games, when they went to Riverside, it was homecoming. Big crowd, you know, a lot of hyped up. Yeah. Go to Adamsville last week, senior night. You go to Bolivar this week, senior night again. So, you know, they're catching teams on you know, probably the worst night to find them on a senior night or a homecoming. And it's a long trip out there. But, you know, I think the Mustangs have shown some things last week at Adamsville, especially defensively, shown some things that can help them this week. And, you know, a chance to pick up a win against Bolivar.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the defense is getting better and better, even though the scores don't always show it. But the big thing, and you'll hear Coach Glass say it here in a second, consistency on offense has been a big problem for this team this year.
Yeah, the one thing I've been preaching is getting a long drive going. You know, it feels like most of their drives are 3 plays, 5 plays, 6 plays. They had some in the second half last week against Adamsville. They started the second half, 10 plays, went 39 yards, turned over on downs, but that was a 10-play drive. Right. The next drive, 11 plays, 34 yards, turned it over on downs. But they're getting these longer drives. You know, they had a rough luck with penalties last week. I think if they can find a week where they can play clean, maybe tonight they could shock some people.
Let's hear what head coach Bryce Glass and running back Andrew Riley have to say going into tonight's game. Well, Bryce, I know last Friday didn't go how you guys wanted it to, but definitely saw a lot of positives against a good football team there.
Yeah, I mean, our guys fought the whole time. Got a lot of young guys in, got some good work in. You know, with Devin Brooks, center being out, we're starting a whole new offensive line. So just keep working and keep grinding.
Got to be proud of what you see. You know, Adamsville is a really good team, and you guys were really into it all the way to the end.
Yeah, I mean, we held them to 1 score at in the second half. Gave up a few early, but yeah, I mean, overall, I'm pleased. Offensively, we still got to work on getting more consistent, but that just comes with time and work. So we'll get there.
Got a big challenge coming up this week and a very long road trip to Bolivar Central.
Yeah, that's what I told him yesterday. The biggest thing we're going to do is handle the road trip. You know, almost 3 hours over there. Heck of a road trip. But, yeah, we got to handle the bus ride and get off the bus and show up and play football.
3A team, obviously all the challenges that come with that, but I know this group is going to be waiting and ready for that challenge.
Yeah, Bolivar's extremely athletic. They got athletes all over the field, so definitely going to have our hands full. You know, our guys ain't shied away from nobody all year long, so I don't expect them to Friday night.
What's it going to take to get a win there on Friday?
Consistency. You know, we got to get more consistent on offense. You know, convert some third downs and get off the football field when we have other teams in third downs. So, consistent.
Andrew Riley, right?
Yes, sir.
What year are you, Andrew?
26.
All right, Andrew. No, this last Friday didn't go as you guys expected to, but what kind of positives you take from that game?
We did really good defensively. I thought we had a pick and we had multiple stops on the defensive side of the ball. We played hard. I mean, ain't much you can ask much for defensively, and offensively we just got to get something going, and that's been our struggle all year. I feel like getting something going, getting a push forward, but we just got to keep working towards it.
You see this team obviously improving, especially playing a team like that and being with them all the way to the end.
Say that one more time.
Yeah. You see this team making strides every week, but when you play a team like that, knowing that you were in it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to keep working hard and keep doing what we're doing and playing. Just got to come together these last few games and just keep working.
Got a big challenge coming up. Long road trip, 3A team, a lot involved here against Bolivar on Friday.
Yeah, we just got to take the trip, handle it well, which I feel like we can. We've had a couple long away games, but I mean, we've handled them fine on the way up there. It's just, this is a long one compared to normal, but I think we'll handle it all right. I mean, Bolivar, they're athletic, but ain't nothing new. Everybody we play is really athletic, so I think we'll be able to handle it just fine.
Finally, what's it going to take to get a win there tomorrow night?
Compete, for sure. Being physical and just doing our assignments.
All right, Mike, keys to victory for the Mustangs coming up tonight.
Yeah, it's something we mentioned before looking at those interviews. Consistency on offense. I feel good that their defensive progress that they've made will carry over. It's just trying to put some more points on the board. They 41 points against Scotts Hill, 28 against Collinwood. If they can put up 21 plus, I feel pretty good about their chances tonight to keep this one good.
All right, Mike. Well, coming up next, we'll take a look at what's going on in Class A. We got a big game tonight. The Richland Raiders taking on Fayetteville, and also we'll take a look at our Northern Alabama game of the week when we return.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
All right, Mike, back here on the Friday Night Lights, the Week 10 edition, going to Class Single A. Big one tonight for the Richland Raiders, taking on Fayetteville, and all realistically a battle for the top spot in that region.
Yeah, right now Richland is technically in third place behind Eagleville, but they do have the head-to-head against them. So, yeah, like you said, this game is for the number one spot in the playoffs. Fayetteville winless outside of their region, perfect in region. So, this game is very big for them. Some common opponents both teams have faced off with Huntland, and Fayetteville was able to get the better end of them. Richland caught them on a bad night. Yeah. But the Raiders have won 4 in a row and have looked really dominant in that fashion. Yeah. I like
Last
Richland.
Week's win against Summertown was really good.
Yeah, I would say that proved their dominance right there.
Yeah, let's move on to the opposite region. And in Region 6 there, you got Wayne County. They're at McKenzie tonight. Wayne County sitting in the 3 spot. 2-1 within the region, 3-5 overall. McKenzie is who McKenzie is, a state title contender. It's going to be a tough one for the Wildcats tonight.
Yeah, I would say anytime you play McKenzie, it's not going to be fun. Their only loss is to Huntington, who, again, is one of the best teams in the state. So, yeah, tough draw that ends up being in your region. Just go out there, try to play clean, try to avoid getting some injuries, and work towards next week in a big rivalry game for them.
Staying in Wayne County, Collinwood's got Perry County tonight. The battle between 4 and 5. This is a playoff game.
Yes.
Because if Collinwood wins, they knock Perry County out. And Hollow Rock Brewston, who started off 5-0, has now lost 3 in a row, all within the region. So if Collinwood gets this win tonight, they pretty much cement their spot there in the playoffs.
Yeah, Collinwood 1-2 in their region right now. Not the greatest record, but like with McKenzie and McEwen being in that region, it's put some teams on a bit of a lower peg, like Brewston and Perry County. Collinwood just get a win against Perry County, you're in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big one tonight. And now moving over to Northern Alabama. We've seen Muscle Shoals a lot this year, and there's a reason, because they're really freaking good. So we get a chance to see them once again tonight, as they got a good one going to Hartselle. So that they're 7-0, 5-0, and Hartselle, who's sitting at 8-0. So this is going to be an away game. It's a region game, battle between literally 1 and 2. They're both 5-0. This is going to be a big one tonight. I know the eyes of Alabama are going to be on this game here.
Yeah, big time. I mean, two of the more consistent programs in the state. Muscle Shoals, obviously, the talent they got. Hartselle, both of their last games come against a common opponent in Jasper. Muscle Shoals fared really well against them 2 weeks ago. Hartselle not as well. Still got the victory last week. I mean, if you want good football, you got it right here. These are going to have some of the best players in the state, some of the best coaches, teams in the state. I know Muscle Shoals has an Alabama commit on defense, so, I mean, you're going to be seeing some good football with these two teams tonight.
Just down I-65.
Yeah.
It's right off the interstate. I went there 2 years ago for Lawrence County basketball. I know how to get there. There is Buc-ee's on the way. Don't tell Sam. Yeah. There is Buc-ee's on. He knows.
Yeah, I would say he knows where they're at.
He's got it tattooed right here.
There's also a really, really good Cracker Barrel in Hartselle, so
and there's a Puckett's
on
the way in Coleman on the way.
So there's great food if you're heading down there tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So that'd be a lot of fun. Well, Mike, it's week number 10. We got one more week coming up here, so a lot of separation and a lot of playoff spots could be clinched tonight all across the area. Well, that will do it for the Week 10 edition of the Friday Night Lights. So for Michael Marks, I'm AJ Good. Kickoff for your games just a few minutes away. Don't forget to check out all the highlights going down tonight on The Final Score.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.